Captain Park stood at the front of the bridge, his back straight as he looked at the massive screen before him. The stars shined brightly against the darkness of space. What had started as a normal patrol mission near Neptune had suddenly become much more important. "Captain, sensors are picking up something unusual," Officer Song said, her fingers moving quickly across her control panel. "Multiple objects approaching from Sector 7. Park nodded calmly. "Show me." The main screen changed to display a group of ships moving in perfect formation. There were dozens of them, then hundreds as the sensors continued to scan. The ships were unlike anything humans had built. They had smooth, curved hulls that reflected the distant sunlight with a blue-green shimmer. 214 ships detected, Commander Kim reported. His voice remained steady, but Park noticed how tightly he gripped his datapad. "No matches in our database. They're not responding to any standard greeting signals." Park took a deep breath. This was first contact. After centuries of wondering if humans were alone in the universe, they finally had their answer. "Send the greeting package on all frequencies again," he ordered, "and alert Fleet Command." The bridge crew worked quickly, their training taking over despite the shock of the situation. Park watched the alien ships carefully. They had stopped, advancing but maintained their position in a perfect hexagonal pattern. "They're not making any aggressive moves," Security Chief Moon observed, "but they're positioned to block our path back to Earth. Or they're just being careful like we would be," Park replied. He turned to his communication officer. "Any response yet?" Officer Lee shook her head. "Nothing, sir. We've tried all known frequencies and protocols." Park considered their options. Attacking would be foolish. They were badly outnumbered. Running might be seen as weakness or fear. The best choice was to hold position and continue trying to communicate. "Sir," Science Officer Yoon called out suddenly, "I'm detecting something small between our fleet and theirs. It's giving off unusual energy readings." Park moved to her station and looked at the sensor readings. A small object floated in space between the two fleets. It wasn't part of either fleet, and the energy signature didn't match any known technology. "It appears to be ancient," Officer Yoon said, adjusting the sensors for a better scan. "The material composition is... I've never seen anything like it." "Could it be a weapon?" Commander Kim asked. "I don't think so," Yoon replied. "The energy pattern is stable, not building up like it would for a detonation. It's more like a beacon or a signal device." Park returned to his chair and made a decision. "Prepare a retrieval team. We need to know what that object is, and if it's related to our visitors." "Sir, that's risky," Commander Kim cautioned. "We don't know if the aliens consider that object theirs. If they do, they can tell us. If we can establish communication," Park replied, "the object might help us do that. Prepare our fastest shuttle and a small team." Within minutes, the shuttle launched from the main ship. Dr. Yoon led the mission, with Lieutenant Kang providing security. Park watched on the screen as the small shuttle approached the mysterious object. "We're getting closer," Dr. Yoon reported over the communication link. "It's about the size of a basketball, with a metallic surface covered in strange symbols." The shuttle came alongside the object, and Lieutenant Kang carefully used the ship's mechanical arm to bring it aboard. "We have it secured," he reported. "No reaction from the alien fleet. Return to the ship immediately," Park ordered. As the shuttle turned back toward the main fleet, Park noticed something on the main screen. The alien ships were shifting position, adjusting their formation. "Sir, the alien fleet is moving," Officer Song reported urgently. "They're spreading out." Park tensed. Defensive positions, shields up. But the alien ships didn't attack. Instead, they formed a new pattern, creating what looked like a pathway toward their largest vessel. "I think," Park said slowly, "I think they're inviting us to approach." Just then, Officer Lee turned in her chair. "Captain, we're receiving a signal. It's coming from the object our team retrieved." The mysterious artifact had started glowing with a soft golden light. Symbols appeared on its surface, changing rapidly. "It's a translator," Officer Yoon said through the communication link. Excitement in her voice. "Captain, I think this artifact might be the key to talking with them." Park nodded, hope rising in his chest. This strange object floating in space between two civilizations who had never met before might be the bridge they needed. "Bring it to the bridge as soon as you dock," he ordered. "It seems we have a lot to talk about with our new neighbors." Dr. Yoon carried the artifact onto the bridge with careful hands. It was heavier than it looked, a perfect shape with 12 flat sides, each covered in strange symbols that seemed to shift and change as she watched. The golden light pulsed gently like a heartbeat. "Place it on the center table," Captain Park ordered. The bridge crew gathered around, keeping a respectful distance. Dr. Yoon set the artifact down. As soon as it touched the surface, the golden glow brightened. The symbols on its surface began to move faster, flowing like water. "Fascinating," she whispered. "It's responding to our presence." Security Chief Moon kept her hand near her weapon. Or it could be counting down to something dangerous. Captain Park gave her a calm look. If they wanted to attack, they could have done so already. The artifact suddenly rose from the table, floating in the air. Everyone stepped back, but Dr. Yoon moved forward, her eyes wide with wonder. "It's not threatening us," she said softly. "It's trying to communicate." The artifact spun slowly, projecting beams of light that formed shapes in the air. Stars, planets, ships, images appeared and disappeared too quickly to follow. "It's showing us a history," Dr. Yoon realized. "Look at the star patterns. Some of these are from thousands of years ago." The images slowed, showing a species that looked similar to the aliens waiting outside. They were building great cities among the stars. Then darkness came, consuming planets one by one. The aliens fought back with powerful weapons. "A war, Commander," Kim said quietly. The story continued, showing the aliens creating many artifacts like the one floating before them. They scattered these artifacts across the galaxy before their civilization fell to the darkness. Suddenly, the artifact stopped, projecting. It hung in the air for a moment, then lowered itself back to the table. "Officer Lee, what's happening with the alien fleet?" Captain Park asked. Lee checked her console. "They're still waiting, sir. No changes in position." Dr. Yoon approached. The artifact again. "Captain, I believe this is a message in a bottle, left by an ancient civilization. And based on the images, those ships out there might be descendants of the people who created it." "But why show us?" Commander Kim asked. "Why not just communicate with them directly?" Dr. Yoon touched the surface of the artifact gently. "Maybe it was meant for whoever found it first. Or maybe..." The artifact glowed brighter at her touch. Suddenly, symbols appeared above it, hanging in the air. "It's creating some kind of translation matrix," Officer Lee said, watching her console. "It's analyzing our language from our computer systems." Within minutes, the floating symbols changed to Korean characters, then English words. "Greetings. I am Keeper. I serve the travelers." Captain Park stepped forward. "I am Captain Park of the Earth Defense Fleet. Who are the travelers?" The artifact, Keeper, responded. "The travelers created me to guide those who would come after, both you." "And the Tal have been chosen." "The Tal? You mean the aliens outside?" "Yes. The Tal were also led here by my signal. This meeting was arranged long ago." Officer Song spoke up from her station. "Captain, we're receiving a transmission from the alien fleet. They're asking to speak with us. The signal is compatible with our systems now." Park nodded. "Put them through." The main screen activated, showing a gray-skinned being with large dark eyes. It wore what looked like a uniform with symbols similar to those on the artifact. "I am Director Han of the Tal Exploration Fleet," the alien said, its words translated. "Perfectly. We have also found a Keeper artifact. It told us to come here." Captain Park straightened. "We found the artifact floating between our fleets. It's been showing us images of what might be your ancestors." Director Han's expression changed slightly. "The old ones. Our histories tell of their great empire and its fall to the Void Eaters. We believed these were just legends until our Keeper activated a year ago." The artifact on the table pulsed again. "The Void returns. The Tal and humans must unite. You share a common ancestor." This statement caused murmurs among both the human crew and the Tal visible on the screen. "That's impossible," Commander Kim said. "We evolved on different planets in different star systems." Director Han spoke again. Unless the old ones seeded many worlds before their fall, they had this technology. Dr. Yoon studied the artifact with new eyes. Captain, request permission to invite a Tal science team aboard. If we're going to understand this artifact and the threat it's warning about, we should work together. Captain Park considered for a moment, then nodded. Director Han, would you be willing to send representatives to discuss this matter? It seems we have much to learn from each other. The Tal leader tilted his head. Agreed. The Keepers have brought our peoples together for a reason. Perhaps together we can avoid the fate of the old ones. As arrangements were made for the first official meeting between humans and Tal, the artifact continued to pulse softly on the table, its ancient light illuminating the faces of those gathered around it. Two species, strangers until today, now, linked by a mystery spanning billions of years and the vast reaches of space. The Tal science team arrived on the UES horizon 6 hours later. Their shuttle docked smoothly, and 3 Tal scientists stepped onto the human ship. They were shorter than most humans, with grey skin that had a slight bluish tint. Their large eyes blinked slowly as they took in their surroundings. Captain Park led the greeting party. Welcome aboard the Horizon. I'm Captain Park. The lead Tal scientist placed a hand over her chest. I am Science Director G. Thank you for your welcome. Their words flowed naturally between languages, thanks to small translation devices created by the Keeper artifact. These devices hung around their necks like pendants, glowing with the same soft golden light. Dr. Yoon guided the visitors to the science lab where the artifact waited. We've prepared a shared workspace. Our systems are compatible now, thanks to the Keeper's adjustments. Science Director G nodded. The Keeper has done the same for our technology. It seems eager for us to work together. In the lab, both human and Tal scientists gathered around the dodecahedron artifact. It pulsed brighter when the Tal approached, as if recognizing them. We've learned it responds to direct questions, Dr. Yoon explained. But it often answers in riddles or incomplete information. Science Director G approached the artifact. Keeper, why have you brought our species together? The artifact rose from the table, spinning slowly. To face the void that comes. Divided, you will fall as... The travelers fell. United, you may survive. What is this void? Captain Park asked. Images appeared above the artifact. Darkness moving between stars, planets going dark, entire systems disappearing from star maps. The void consumes. It grows. It learns. It has slept for 1,000,000 years. Now it wakes again. The scientists worked through the night, humans and Tal side by side. They found they thought differently. Tal minds were more structured, seeing patterns where humans saw chaos. Humans made intuitive leaps that surprised the Tal. Together, they made progress that neither could have achieved alone. By morning, Dr. Yoon made a breakthrough. She stood up suddenly, startling everyone in the lab. It's not just a translator, she said excitedly. The Keeper isn't just helping us talk to each other. It's helping us think together. Look at these brain scans. She showed images of human and Tal brain activity. When we work near the artifact, our thought patterns align in certain frequencies. It's creating a bridge between our minds. Science Director G studied the data. This explains why we've been finishing each other's thoughts. I assumed it was just good scientific collaboration. Officer Lee, who had joined the research team, pointed to her screen. There's more. I've been analyzing the star maps the Keeper showed us. These aren't just random stars. They're locations of other artifacts. Captain Park was called to the lab to see their findings. He listened carefully as the team explained what they had learned. So there are more of these Keepers scattered throughout the galaxy, he asked. Yes, Dr. Yoon confirmed. Hundreds, maybe thousands, and each one contains different pieces of the Traveler's knowledge and technology. Science Director G added, the Travelers created these artifacts before their civilization fell to the void. They seeded many worlds with life, including Earth and Tal Prime, hoping their children would one day unite against the enemy they couldn't defeat. The Keeper artifact spun faster, projecting new images, DNA strands from humans and Tal, showing matching sequences that couldn't be coincidence. You are both children of the Travelers, different paths, same origin. The tools to fight were divided between you. Captain Park frowned. What tools? Your creativity, their precision, your passion, their patience. Separate, you are vulnerable. Together, you are formidable. Officer Lee looked up from her console. Captain, I'm detecting unusual energy readings from Sector 12. Something's coming. The ship's alert system activated. Commander Kim's voice came over the communication system. Captain to the bridge. Unknown object approaching at high speed. In the command center, the main screen showed a patch of space that seemed darker than the surrounding stars. It moved, like a living thing flowing rather than flying. What is that? Captain Park asked. Director Han appeared on a side screen, calling from the TAL command ship. We're detecting it too. That energy signature matches ancient records of Void Scouts. The Keeper artifact had followed them to the bridge, floating beside Dr. Yoon. It pulsed rapidly, its light now pulsing red instead of gold. Void Scout. It senses the activation. It comes to investigate. Can we hide? Commander Kim asked. Too late. It has found you. You must stand together. Captain Park looked at Director Han on the screen. It seems our peoples have a common enemy. Will you stand with us? The TAL leader nodded solemnly. The Keeper brought us together for this moment. The TAL will fight beside humans. As both fleets prepared for the approaching threat, Dr. Yoon noticed something strange. The Keeper artifact was changing, its surface becoming more fluid-like. It hovered near the ship's main control systems. I think, she said slowly, it wants to show us something important. The artifact pulsed once more, then merged with the ship's control panel. Suddenly, weapon systems that humans had never seen before appeared on the tactical displays. The travelers left us more than just a message, Captain Park realized. They left us their weapons. The darkness approached faster than any ship should be able to move. It didn't look solid, more like a shadow that could flow through space. As it came closer, they could see it better on the main screen. The Void Scout was shaped roughly like a star, with 5 pointed arms that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. All ships, defensive positions, Captain Park ordered. The human fleet moved quickly, forming a protective line. The TAL ships also repositioned, their movements precise and coordinated. Together, the two fleets created a formation that protected each other's weaknesses. The Void Scout has stopped, Officer Song reported. It's just, watching us. The Keeper artifact, now partly merged with the ship's systems, displayed new information on the tactical screens. Strange symbols transformed into words everyone could understand. These are weapon systems, Commander Kim said in surprise, but nothing like what we've developed. Dr. Yoon studied the displays. The Traveler's technology. The Keeper is giving us access to it. On the communication screen, Director Han nodded. Our Keeper is doing the same. These weapons use energy in ways we never imagined. Captain Park made a quick decision. Transfer the new weapons data to all ships in the fleet. Director Han, I suggest you do the same. Already done, the TAL leader replied. My weapons officer says these systems can be integrated with our existing technology. Before they could test the new weapons, the Void Scout made its move. It didn't fire conventional weapons. Instead, a wave of darkness extended from its center, moving toward the closest human ship. The UES Dauntless is being targeted, Officer Song called out. Their shields are failing. Wait, their power systems are shutting down. On the screen, they watched as the smaller human vessel went dark, its lights flickering out. It's draining their energy, Dr. Yoon realized. That's how it attacks. The Keeper pulsed urgently. New information appeared on the tactical display, a specific energy frequency. Captain, Commander Kim said, the Keeper is suggesting we modify our shields to this frequency. Do it, Park ordered. Send the information to all ships. The human and TAL vessels quickly adjusted their shields. When the Void Scout sent another wave of darkness toward a TAL ship, the black energy scattered against the golden shield. It worked, Officer Song exclaimed. The Void Scout pulled back, seemingly reassessing its approach. Then it changed strategy, firing what looked like bolts of pure darkness at the fleets. Evasive maneuvers, Park commanded. Most ships dodged the attack, but 2 were hit. Their shields held but weakened significantly. We can't just defend, Commander Kim said. "We need to attack." The Keeper pulsed again, highlighting one of the new weapon systems it had revealed. "Light Lance," the display read. "Focus energy. Through crystalline matrix." Captain Park nodded to his weapons officer. "Target the Void Scout and fire." The horizon shuddered as energy built up in systems that hadn't existed an hour earlier. A beam of golden light shot forth, striking the Void Scout directly. The dark shape recoiled, part of its star-like arm dissolving. On the other side of the formation, a TAL ship fired a similar weapon. Their beam was blue rather than gold, but equally effective. Another arm of the Void Scout disappeared. The creature, for it now seemed clearly alive rather than a machine, retreated. Slightly. It pulsed, sending out a signal that the ship's sensors detected. "It's calling for help," Dr. Yoon said, looking at the data. "There are more of them out there." The Keeper detached partly from the control systems, floating up to display a galaxy map. Red dots appeared throughout, showing void concentrations. There were hundreds of them, spreading from the galactic core outward. "There are so many, Captain," Park said quietly. "But look," Dr. Yoon pointed to blue and green dots scattered across the map. "These must be other Keeper artifacts, and there are even more of them." The Keeper confirmed her guess. The travelers left gifts for their children. Each Keeper holds different knowledge, different weapons, different shields. The Void Scout suddenly accelerated, moving away from the fleets at incredible speed. "It's running," Commander Kim said. "No," Director Han replied from his ship. "Here's reporting back what it found. They know we have traveler technology now." Captain Park looked at the galaxy map, still hovering in the air. "Then we need to find the other Keepers before they do." The artifact pulsed in agreement. "The network must be reactivated. The children must reclaim their inheritance." Dr. Yoon studied the nearest blue dots on the map. "There are 3 Keeper artifacts within reach of our current position. The closest is in a star system about 2 weeks' travel from here." Captain Park looked at Director Han on the screen. Their eyes met with new understanding. Both leaders knew that everything had changed. "We'll need to form a joint mission," Park said. "Your scientists and ours working together to recover these artifacts." Director Han nodded. "The void will not wait. Neither can we." The Keeper artifact glowed brighter, projecting one final image. Human and TAL DNA strands intertwining, forming a double helix, stronger than either alone. "You were separated to survive. Now you must unite to live." Captain Park stood in the large meeting room aboard the UES Horizon. Humans and TAL sat together around a circular table. The Keeper artifact floated above the center, casting a soft golden glow over everyone present. "2 weeks ago we were strangers," Park began. "Today we prepare to face an enemy together." Director Han nodded. "The Void Scout was only the beginning. Our long-range sensors detect more void ships moving in this direction." The Keeper projected the galaxy map again, showing the movement of red dots toward their position. The void forces were still distant, but clearly heading their way. Dr. Yoon pointed to the nearest blue dot on the map. "This Keeper artifact is in the Cerulean system. If we leave tomorrow, we can reach it before the void forces arrive." Science Director G added, "Our analysis suggests each Keeper contains different knowledge. The one we found gave us defensive shields. The one in the Cerulean system might hold offensive weapons or faster travel technology." Captain Park studied the map. "We should send a joint fleet. 3 human ships, 3 TAL ships." "Agreed," Director Han said. "Our strongest vessels, with our best scientists." Commander Kim raised a concern. "We should also send ships to warn Earth and Tal Prime. Our homeworlds need to prepare." The discussion continued as they planned the mission. Engineers from both species worked to integrate the traveler technology into their ships. What would have taken years of research happened in days with the Keeper's guidance. In the ship's hangar, Dr. Yoon supervised the installation of new crystal matrices in the Horizon's engine systems. Science Director G worked beside her, her smaller hands moving with precise efficiency. "I never imagined working alongside aliens," Dr. Yoon said, as they calibrated a crystal array. G looked up with what humans had learned was a Tal smile, a slight widening of the eyes. "My people have searched the stars for centuries, hoping to find others. Some feared what we might discover. I always hoped we would find friends." "And instead, You found cousins, Dr. Yoon replied, referring to their shared ancestry. The crystal array activated, glowing with bright blue energy. The ship's power levels increased by 40% immediately. It works, G exclaimed. Similar breakthroughs happened throughout the fleet. Tal precision combined with human creativity produced results that amazed both species. Ships became faster, shields stronger, weapons more powerful. On the day of departure, Captain Park stood on the bridge of the horizon. His crew worked alongside Tal officers at several stations. The six-ship fleet, now called the Unity Fleet, prepared to leave for the Cerulean system. All ships report ready, Captain, Officer Song announced. The artifact is secured in the special chamber engineering built, Dr. Yoon added. The Keeper would travel with them, continuing to guide their way. Then let's make history, Park said. Set course for the Cerulean system. The fleet moved in perfect formation, accelerating to speeds no human or Tal ship had achieved before. The Keeper's enhancements allowed them to travel through space in new ways, slipping through the fabric of reality rather than pushing against it. 3 days into their journey, Officer Lee detected something unusual. Captain, I'm receiving a signal. It's very faint, but it matches the Keeper's frequency. The Keeper artifact, hearing this, floated onto the bridge from its chamber. It pulsed with excitement. Another calls. It senses our approach. But we're still too far from the Cerulean system, Commander Kim noted. There are others, hidden, waiting. This one travels. Dr. Yoon studied the signal. It's moving. If this is another Keeper, it's on a ship or asteroid. Captain Park made a quick decision. Adjust course to intercept, informed the fleet. The Unity fleet changed direction following the mysterious signal. They found it 8 hours later, a small vessel unlike any they had seen before. It was ancient, covered in the same symbols as the Keeper artifact. A traveler ship, Dr. Yoon whispered in awe. They brought the ship into the horizon's largest hangar bay. It was no bigger than a shuttle, but inside they found technology beyond their understanding and another Keeper artifact. When the two Keepers came together, they merged temporarily, sharing information. The combined artifacts projected new images, detailed schematics for weapons, shields, and engines. But most importantly, they showed the location of a traveler outpost, hidden on a moon in the Cerulean system. This changes our mission, Captain, Park told the fleet commanders. This outpost may contain more than just another artifact. It could be a base for our operations against the Void. Director Han agreed. The travelers left us a path to follow. We must trust their guidance. As the Unity fleet resumed its journey, humans and Tal continued to learn from each other. What had begun as a chance encounter had become a partnership, perhaps the only hope for both their worlds against the darkness that was coming. In his private quarters, Captain Park looked at the stars streaking past his window. The universe had suddenly become much larger and more dangerous than anyone had imagined, but they were no longer facing it alone. We were meant to find each other, he said softly to the stars. Now we'll see if together we're strong enough to face what comes next.